This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Lovers Are Lunatics. Lovers Are Lunatics is a new rock-inspired clothing brand created by Jacoby Shaddix of Papa Roach and designer Jeff Henry. Jacoby and Jeff have partnered to create a brand that represents the rock community and showcases their unique creative vision. To check out all of the gear, go to loversarelunatics.com. Pretty sick shit on there. You got all kinds of sweatshirts, shirts, tank tops. You got women's leggings, women's tank tops, women's sweatshirts, all kinds of cool shit on there. So go check it out. It's got some great designs. That's loversarelunatics.com. Also, check out That Sober Guy Meetings. It's a live, once-a-month meeting from the comfort of wherever the hell you are at. There's free registration. Go to www.thatsoberguy.com and click on the Meetings tab.
Yo, what's up? This is Jacoby from Papa Roach, and you are listening to That Sober Guy podcast. Yeah!
This is Shane Raver, and you're listening to That Sober Guy podcast on Recovery Radio. Living one day at a time for a sober, healthy, happy life. For more information, visit www.thatsoberguy.com. And now, let's start the show. All right, I'm here live from the Warfield in San Francisco, California, talking with Jacoby Shaddix, frontman for the band Papa Roach. You guys have sold over 20 million records. Been rooted in the rock and roll scene since the 90s and continue to have very successful careers. So pretty fucking awesome. You just released your 8th studio album titled F.E.A.R. And I just want to say thanks for taking the time out to come on the podcast today.
Yeah, that's what's up. Thanks for having me, man.
Yep,
that's quite the introduction. You know what I'm saying? That's some records right there, dog.
That's crazy.
Shoot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is a trip, man.
To think, from where you guys started in just little old Vacaville, the community center and that whole scene is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is a trip. I definitely like every time I go back to that town. It's like a trip down memory lane. Like I'll be down there next week. We're shooting a music video at the DeVille Theater down in Vacaville. So you got to come by and check it out.
Oh yeah, I would definitely do that. That's great.
So when I go back home, it's just that. It's nostalgic for me. I trip on it, I was old, going down Main Street. I'm like, I was a little kid running these streets, and now I'm a grown man coming back, like bringing the rock back to Vacaville, dude. It's cool.
That's so good to hear too, because they opened the club up, and they've been doing a lot of trying out a lot of different things there. I think, and it's such a great location. It's such a great spot. In a great town too. I mean, you're halfway to Sac, you're halfway to the city.
Yeah,
good little venue.
Sometimes I wonder, why'd I move away to this place? It's awesome. You know what I'm saying? But Sacramento is now my home. Yeah, I've been out there for ever since I graduated high school. Me and my wife moved up there right after we graduated, and then just kind of Sacramento's been stomping around that area. NorCal, cool. I'm a NorCal kid.
Yes, period. Me too. I tried the whole SoCal thing out, and it's nice down there. Beaches are great, but NorCal is my home for sure. So the way I kind of wanted to also approach this conversation was, I think it's important that as men and as the men and women and the things that we go through in our lives, it's important to talk about the past times, but it's more important to me to focus on our lives now.
Yeah.
So my first question for you was, who is, through all the ups and the downs, who is Jacoby Shaddix today?
Today? Dang. Who am I today? I'm a person that's very passionate. I'm driven, motivated. I'm clean. I'm sober. I'm someone who forgives. I'm someone that's on the hunt for the best version of myself, you know what I'm saying? And through that, have my failures and my ups and downs in that. And, but most important, I'm just a passionate person. Yeah. I'm passionate about my art, passionate about my family. I'm passionate about my relationship with God. I'm passionate about my relationships, period. A lot of times in this business that I'm in, it's like people just be focused on the money hunt
Yeah.
And how many records can you sell, and how many chicks can you bang, and how many this and that, and how many cars you got, or how big your house is, and like, you know, I've had a lot of crazy experiences in my life and done a lot of crazy shit, you know, but when I look back in hindsight, like, those weren't the things that defined me. It's like the relationships in my band and my family and my spiritual, like, those are what truly define me, and that's what makes me who I am. And you know, I'm just grateful that I'm on that hunt, you know, to just keep looking after that stuff, because I could go chase the money and the women and the fame, and that's like, it's like, I call it the God-size hole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just be trying to fill the God-size hole with all those other things that just really don't mean shit.
Yeah.
And it's
We had talked about that, I think, a little bit briefly at the church when I saw you out there around Easter, and we had talked about how the possessions and the things in life that we kind of seek, that we chase after, they can never fulfill a man's soul like the Spirit of God, whatever your God may be, higher power, you know. And I don't know, there's something about that that's just. It's very powerful, I guess, once you understand it too. And you bring up another good point too, is that I think a lot of people, they are on the point of, you know, a rock star, the cars, the money, all this shit that comes along with it. What they don't realize is how much actual work. Like, this is a job. You know what I mean? Like, this is fucking work. Like, you wake up, you know, doing this shit day in, day out on the road, in the studio. Like, there's so much shit that goes in behind it, the production team, like everything, the whole surrounding thing. So I think that when you put it in that perspective, you know what I mean, there's so much that goes into it.
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look behind the scenes of what we do, it's not just getting on a stage or just writing a song, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's the whole, it's the creative process, which is, for me, a blast. You know what I'm saying? I have a great time writing songs and writing, you know, getting creative with my band, and I love performing on stage. But then there's the other side of it where it's, and I'm kind of in the thick of it right now too, because I'm directing music videos now.
Really?
And I am telling you, dude, the pre-production on something like that is like, it almost had me losing my mind today. I'm like, I got 50 emails regarding all the creative, you know, first AD, second AD, lighting guy, you know, all these things.
Yeah.
And it's like, when I start to like kind of, I guess when I got clean, you know, I just want to like grab onto more creative elements and like not control everything, but just be creative. Cause you know, instead of just
losing just expressing myself. That spirit that has been numb for so long, like that. Like, it's just, there's so much inside that wants to come out. And the same thing when I got clean, like, it was just like, fuck, like, once I got over all the, like, the bullshit part of it, like, it was just unbelievable, this person that lived inside of me that I always knew who I wanted to be, but I could never be, you know what I mean? Because it was just, I don't know.
No, I totally feel you, man. It's like having that, I guess, gift of clarity, in a sense, gives us a more focused version on, you know, vision of what we're trying to get after, you know, and it's like, so, you know, I'm getting stuff done, I'm moving and shaking, I'm traveling around the world, you know, and in that I'm doing these other creative elements, and also, you know, a clothing line, pushing that.
Nice, dude.
You know, just doing things that are kind of outside of my comfort zone that I used to not do before. Yeah. Because I was like, I can't do that. I can't, you know, look at me, I'm wearing a hoodie right now. Lovers are lunatics, you know what I'm saying? Like, nice. I'm trying new things, but yeah, it is very busy. A lot of sacrifice, you know. I miss my family a lot, you know. It was like I had a day off yesterday, and I was going to fly to San Francisco instead of stay on the bus all day, because there's like a 24-hour bus ride. I'm like, dude, I'll lose my mind if I'm on the bus for 24 hours right now. You know, so I'm like, I surprised my kids, flew home to Sacramento, picked them up from school, got tackled by my older son, Mikhail. The kid is like a freight train coming at me, man. He was so juiced. And, you know, I got to spend some time with my little baby and, you know, hijack the wife. I was like, you're coming on tour with me for a couple days. You know?
That's cool.
So we you know, there's those sacrifices that we make, but it's like, it's also, you know, if you look at like soldiers that, you know, fight, you know, and go to war and serve our country, like they sacrifice a lot as well. You know, they're away from their families for 6 months, a year at a time, you know, and ultimately some of these guys pay the price of their life, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you see people out there sacrificing, but the thing is, it's, that's very fulfilling in this is that, and I never really kind of paid attention to it before, was the way that what we do and the music that Papa Roach makes, like, affects people. It lifts people up, you know, and I speak of my brokenness in the music, and I talk about my, you know, my experience, my strength, but then ultimately my hope, you know, in the music, and putting that in it is like sometimes shining on a light in a real dark place for some people. Yeah. And I meet people every single day that are like, dude, this song, your band saved my life. And I'm like, what? Like, before I was like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, right on. You know, and I was grateful, you know, at the time, but it really never soaked in until now, you know, the last few years, just traveling around and really ultimately seeing how the music, like, saved my life. Yeah. You know, and like, I threw my, like, music was, because I went through a real dark space where I wasn't into this thing called life at all, and music was the only time that I felt any peace, you know, and so I really see the power in it, and it's changed for me, and so man, when I meet fans that say this music has moved them or helped them, it's like, cool, right on, like, because we're always looking for that purpose, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's so I actually that's one of the questions I actually had for you was War Over Me. That's one of my favorite lines in there. It's, you know, it's I found a purpose. Yeah. You know, and I think everybody is searching for a purpose in life. Like, we're all, like, no matter who you are, like, you gotta ask yourself at some point, like, what is my purpose? Yeah, man. So I mean, obviously your purpose is helping others through music.
Yeah, man.
And family, I'm sure, but
it's been an interesting path for me, you know. It's like, at a young age, I definitely was convicted, you know, in music. I was like, this is my passion, you know, this is my purpose, to rock out, you know what I'm saying? And that's all it was just to, like, rock out. You know what I'm saying? Look, come on stage.
You guys are known for your live shows. Yeah, The albums are great too, but your live performances, for anyone out there who hasn't have got a chance to watch Papa Roach perform live, the live shows are fucking phenomenal, dude. The energy is just ridiculous, and I'm super excited to watch.
Cool, tonight's gonna be banging, dude.
I know, bro, because we're home, dude. I'm just fucking juiced. But
it's gonna be dope, you know. But I take a look at, like, you know, deeper into what we do with this band, and it's like, before it was just getting on stage, and now that I see that how we connect deeply with our fan base and move people with music, that is, to me, the most powerful thing. The way that you know, I see somebody's eyes light up after a show, and I meet them, and they're like, bro, like, you have no idea. You know, I said it again, I can say it again and again until I'm blue in the face, but it's like, that gives me all the times that I get lonely, and I'm, you know, missing my family on the road, and I'm tired, and I'm, you know, not feeling too hot, you know, it's like, and then I'll meet somebody like that'll tell me their story or just a moment, and I'm like, it just lifts me. It gives, you know, it gives me that purpose, you know, and a lot of us, you know, search our whole lives for that thing, and I definitely found it young, but I didn't find the full reason of why I'm in it.
The full scope of it wasn't realized until like
it's mega, dude. It's powerful, man, and I see it right now every day, and it's like, we just put out the new record F.E.A.R, and it's like, people are just tripping on it. Fans are like, I love this record, like,
it's great.
It's the best record you put out since like blah blah blah, or best record in 10 years, or this is my favorite record. I'm like, what?
The progression of the you know, all the albums leading up to this one, because I think my favorite album was the second one. Was
Love Hate Tragedy? Yeah,
that's my favorite one, and I feel like this one is very similar to that in a sense. It brings me back to, like, that certain vibe, but with a more, like, positive. Like a positive outlook and a positive energy. Not that, you know, there was some other shit, but just the writing style and everything, dude. And my favorite song on this album, Devil. That song, and here's why. This is what I wanted to ask you.
That's
like,
one of my favorites too.
This fucking battle that we go through between good and evil, and, like, that old classic, like, good angel and bad angel. Like, I know I'm a good dude. I know I have a good soul, a good heart, but, like, there's this thing inside of me that, like, just wants to, like, be destructive and just fucking chaotic, but at the same time I know that it's wrong. And I really abused that, like, when I was doing you know, what I was doing. And so what's your take on that, man? Like, I know you've talked about that before.
Yeah, that dynamic is very much alive in me today. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, I've been, you know, I'm a Christian, you know, I follow Christ. That's how I understand God. That's my, you know, that's my path. you know. And it's been an interesting path for me because I was very kind of ashamed to admit that to people, you know.
Yeah.
Like, he's with some weird dude that's like, you know, follows Jesus. What's up with this guy?
I think that's the stigma between religion and a relationship with God. People don't understand it.
And so, you know, once I got past that and I really started to like peel back the layers of myself and go, okay, now I have this like spiritual life. It's warfare. Yeah. It's straight warfare because I know where my allegiance lies, and there's a darkness in this world that I'm drawn to. I'm like talking to my homies. I'm like, dude, why? Like, God relieved me of this obsession to be this way or to do these things. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like, but the thing is, what's awesome about it is now that I'm aware and I see like where the darkness pulls me and draws me, and that's, for me, that's the best thing in the world, is that I see it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Am I perfect? No. Do I fall to temptation? Yeah. Am I gonna be perfect? Never. Do you know what I'm saying? But am I gonna fight this fucking war? Yes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I felt that being in Las Vegas was the perfect place to make that record, and it drew those things out of me because, you know, I was on the hunt for a better version of myself, and I went to this city where it's like the scene of the crime, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, that place brings out the worst in me, and it was a trip because when I was there, and I had like this like armor on myself, you know what I'm saying? And I felt protected, but I knew that I was there for a reason, and it was for me to grow stronger as a man, as a spirit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like that city could eat you up, and you can get caught up in the whole, you know, hookers and cocaine and money and just the whole thing. City. Yeah, dude, it's there, man. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna throw myself in this creative, man, because I'm way more passionate about this creative. Like, I used to be passionate about all that other stuff, and it just, to me, it's like, I could go do that, but I know where that leads me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I'm tired of just getting burnt by that flame, you know what I'm saying? And the devil can come to me in many different ways, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He could present himself as opportunity. He could present himself as a beautiful woman to me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I say he, but it's like, it's just it's a temptation, you know what I'm saying? And I've fallen to it so many times, and I just see where it puts me in the end, you know what I'm saying? I fall to that and slip up, and I'm caught in a room alone by myself wanting to put a gun in my mouth. Fuck that. You know what I mean? No way, dude.
Those, because it can escalate very fast. Mm-hmm. You know, those thoughts, like once you get kind of wrapped up in them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's a fucking trip.
That's great track too. The bass line in that song.
That's why. Like when I first heard it, I was like, "Damn, Toby fucking ripped."
Yeah, he just brought it. We've been working on that song actually for like not tonight, but on the next time we're coming around, we're doing a show, Vacaville, April 18th. We're doing a benefit show. Yeah,
okay, great, man.
In Andrews Park, it's a benefit show for this cancer center that they're building in Vacaville. So.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, dude. But that song, we've been working on that song for a few years. We were going to put it on Metamorphosis. It didn't make it on that record. That bass line and that music, I never could put the right words to it, you know. And sometimes music works that way, you know. It's like we'll just kind of fool around with something. Sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah, we'll fool around with it, and it just didn't have a home yet. And finally, on this record, we didn't double back, we triple backed on this one. You know, tried it again, and I was in the right place at the right time, and it just brought the right energy out. Yeah. It fit.
It's crazy how timing is really everything. Like, that's the old cliche thing, like, oh, timing is everything, but really it fucking is. Like, it's got to be like the right time for stuff. You know what I mean? Let's see, man. So here's a question I have for you, man. I thought this would be interesting. Is so when I was like 15, 16, dude, Nick Trainer was like a huge influence, like, on me, just like his style of writing and stuff. Mm-hmm. And we all, you know, or some of us know, for those who don't, Nick died in, I don't know, I think late 90s. Yeah. I just, did that have an effect on you at that time? I know we're backtracking a little bit. Yeah. But I mean, I think it affected the whole community, like the whole punk rock community, the whole music scene. And I just kind of wanted to get your take on that from
definitely. I mean, knowing Nick,
such a good.
He was such a bright light, you know what I'm saying? And he would just light up a room, you know what I'm saying? When he stepped on stage with his boys, it was real, you know. And then you hear that he dies from this thing, you know what I'm saying? This addiction, this crazy ass lifestyle, and And for me, I'm like, oh man, it's so sad, but it didn't stop me from living that reckless life. You know what I'm saying? Like, people ask me, like, hey, what would your older self say to your younger self? Yeah. And I'm like, I hope I save my breath, dude, because I know my younger self is just way too stubborn and just bullheaded to even listen to anybody. Yep. You know, and so that's the thing, man, is sometimes we have to go out there and learn by our own mistakes, and some of us have to go out there and die. You know what I'm saying? And that's just it. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I believe my addiction's straight goal is for me to be in a casket. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the goal. Like, I believe it wants to take me out, and I'm like, man, I'm lucky that I've made it this far, you know? And so that's why I just get, you know, hit my knees every day, please and thank you, and, you know, just be in some gratitude and be grateful, you know, I'm above ground.
That's how I felt today, actually, coming out here. I was thinking on the way, I was like, you know, here, I get this opportunity to sit down and talk with you, you know, about this whole addiction, you know, just life in general, too. And I've had some really close homies and some really close family who well, some of them mentally will never have that opportunity, and physically, the ones that had passed on, you know, will never have that either. But yeah, dude, that's
heavy stuff, man. That's why
so
sober, homie.
It's because I can deal with that shit.
Yeah.
2, okay. All right, so we got 2. All right.
Oh, we got. We'll wrap when we're done.
Okay. All right. So, damn. Let's see. Sorry, man. I kind of got off beat there.
That's all good.
What are some of the practices that you use to help? I mean, obviously being on the road all the time, you know, being in this business, like you were saying earlier, there's tons of temptations. There's all kinds of shit going on around you. What are some of the things that you use, some of the tools that you've picked up over time that you could share with some people out there that, you know, that help you stay sober? Is it exercise? I mean, what?
I mean, you know, my routine, it's all over the place. You know, it's like spirit, body, and mind. Yeah. You know, when I'm out of balance and when I'm not focused on one those 3 things, it's like I get out of whack, you know? And so it's like, first off, it's like staying connected with other people that are sober, you know what I'm saying? And that's a must.
Support group.
Yeah, dude. I got some dudes I do Voxer with all the time. I got a group called St. Francis Group. It's a gratitude list, sober drunks, other musician guys that I'm friends with. And it's a 10 things every day that we're grateful for. And I've been on that list for almost 2.5 years now. Found that early on in my sobriety this time around, and it really has kind of showed me how to maintain this thing out on the road. It's just staying connected with people. Yeah. You know, staying fit helps me. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little sloppy right now. I got plantar fasciitis in my foot. So
my lady had that.
I just got steroid shots in my foot, so my foot's starting to feel a little better.
That's good, man. That's good. I don't know, but I know what she went through, and it's
hell, dude. Her. It's hell, man. Ooh. So, you know, I'm like trying to get into fitness, you know what I'm saying, and keeping my that helps my head, you know, because when you get out there and do some fitness, it releases serotonin and dopamine in your brain, which lifts your spirits, you know what I'm saying? So, been getting into that. I mean, playing rock shows definitely helps, and also pulling myself out of the environment when it gets a little heavy, you know what I'm saying? It's like 2 a.m. It's like everybody's raging. It's like, cool. I'm tired anyway, so I'm gonna go to bed while you guys just rage till the sun comes up. And I'll get up early and have my coffee and do my deal, and you know. And so knowing when to kind of pull myself out of this situation has been, I think, one of the most important things out here. Yeah. You know, and I had a sober guy on the road with me last couple years. Nice. And that was awesome to have a sober homie on the road. We just do check-ins on the bus all the time. So, you know, I don't have him out there with me right now, but it's like, I'm okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I hit meetings on the road, you know what I'm saying? I stick to that gratitude list, and I just don't pick up. Yeah. You know, and plus, like, that obsession has just been lifted off me at this point, where I just don't feel like I'm chomping at the bit, like, God, I wish I could drink like him. Like, nah, dude, I don't wish I could drink like him at all. I'm cool with being sober. Like, I'm okay with that now. Like, my friends are like, isn't it hard for you? Like, and I use that as an excuse all the time. God, it's so hard to stay sober, dude. You know what I'm saying? My addiction was like a perfect excuse, dude. It's hard, bro. You can't do this out here. It's hard if you don't want to stay sober. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to stay sober, it's not that hard. You just do the right thing and don't pick up. Call a homie if you fucking in a place where you want to get fucked up. Yeah. You call your boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
pretty simple, but it's hard.
Well, staying connected and like you said, man, you're able to. I think when we get to a point where we're able to foresee the outcome of the situation that we're in or that we're putting ourselves in, like I know, okay, if I do that, these are the consequences. Whereas before, I just either didn't give a fuck or it was just I was too stupid to even.
Dude, it was just one track mind, dude.
Exactly. So
full on numbskull.
Yeah, dude. So last question for you, real quick. To someone out there listening right now who needs help with their addiction but doesn't know where to start, man, what advice could you give them?
I would just say reach out to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to reach out for some help. And even though maybe your pride or your ego is getting in the way, it's like if you feel you've reached your bottom and you can't go on, reach out to somebody. It's like that's just it, man. Because if you don't raise your voice, nobody's gonna fix you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the deal, dude. Is we gotta want to change. You know.
Yes.
But there's meetings out there. You can call information and call an AA hotline. There's gonna be somebody that's gonna pick up the phone on you. You know what I'm saying? And anything, dude. Go to I don't care if you believe in God or not. Go to your local church or go talk to somebody there. They'll go check it out, man. I don't know how to help you, but maybe I could find somebody that can help you. You know what I'm saying? You find a lot of people willing to help in those spaces. But yeah, man, just hit a meeting too. Like try one out. Maybe you won't hear your story the first time, but and you know what, man. Sometimes AA isn't up for everybody, but it's for me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It works for me. Yeah. I tried everything else out.
It really did. It helped me out in a lot of ways too. And one of the things I wanted to mention too is I've started that sober guy meeting. So I have the first one on the 21st, and what it is it's a live online meeting where people just call in from all around the country, all around the world, and they can call in from the comfort of their own home, their car, wherever the hell, and they can sit there. They don't have to talk. They can just strictly listen if they want.
That's awesome.
Or they can go online and do it face to face.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I gotta check that. I gotta come check that out.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted on it. But hey, man, I know you got to get going, man. Thank you so much, Jacoby, for having or for coming on the show. That Sober Guy podcast. Check Papa Roach's new album out, F.E.A.R. It's fucking kick ass, and it's one of the best that I've heard yet. So thanks again, man.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you. I do too, man. Thank you very much.
Good interview.
This has been another episode of That Sober Guy podcast on Recovery Radio with Shane Raymond. For more information, visit www.thatsoberguy.com or you can email Shane at sobriety@thatsoberguy.com. Thanks again for listening and enjoy a sober, healthy, happy life.